Hey, greetings everyone. My name is Tony Holowitz, and I want to thank you for being here for this quick tutorial about Act Marketing Automation. One of the things I really love about Act Marketing Automation is it's a way to be incredibly creative in your sales and marketing programs. So this is an example of sort of creativity in the way you can think about it. And I tell people with Act Marketing Automation, you can think backwards a little bit. And let me explain what I mean by that. So typically, if I was going to send out a campaign, an email campaign about Tony's famous chocolate ice cream, one of the things I'd have to do is first I'd have to find all the contacts I want to send it to. I'd have to put them in a group. Once they're in a group, I can then go in and create a campaign. I can tell that campaign what group of contacts to send it to. I can come in and create my email, or in this case, if I have a template, I can use the template. But this is the creative part, the actual email. So right here in front of me, I've got this email. So at this point, once I've got the creation, the campaign, the group of people I'm going to send it to, I have the ability to come in and activate this campaign. So if I come up here and click return, right there, what it allows me to do is come to the next screen and activate it so this campaign goes out. But there's a step that I want you to think about that really is important in my opinion. And I'm going to go to Actions, and I'm going to come down to where it says Campaign List Sync. And I'm going to click on that. I want you to observe that by default, the Campaign List Sync is off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it on. Next, I'm going to say when it's on, there's an end date here, I'll just leave it there. But what I want to do is every hour, I want this to be synchronized. So what it's going to do is this. To take a step back for a minute, when you create a group, you can have a group of everyone in your database, for example, by the first name of John. And I can create a group, I can do a lookup, put all the people in that group whose first name is John. But another kind of group is something called a dynamic group. So if I created what's called a group membership rule, I could tell Act to automatically take anyone named John and put them in that group. Let's call it the John group. So now I have all the people whose first name is John in that group. So now with that sort of concept of that thinking, I can now send out the email to all the people who are in the John group, for example. Having stated that, when I create a group for the chocolate ice cream campaign, I can create what's called a dynamic group that has a rule that looks for certain information to know that now I want to send it out. So in my first example, the Johns, if I send it out to all the Johns, typically everything's done, unless I turn Campaign List Sync on. What the Campaign List Sync will do is this. If I add a new contact named John, or 5 or 10 or 100, it will now look for all those new contacts and send it out to all those people named John. Now, obviously, you got to be aware of this because there's a downside. You might not want that new person named John to get that email. But in my situation, when I was talking about the chocolate ice cream, what I'm going to suggest is this. I'm going to turn the Campaign List Sync on. I'm going to go to Actions. I'm going to click Save. And when I get back here, what I have the opportunity to do is activate this campaign. Now, for the moment, I'm not going to activate it. I'm just going to click on Return. And then I'm going to go look at one of my contacts. So one of my contacts in here is Fred Flintstone. And I'm going to make the screen a little bit bigger by going and holding the Control key down and the plus sign, just to make it bigger on the screen. So try to imagine this. Try to imagine that because I've created a dynamic group, let's say that dynamic group was made up of any contacts in the database where the chocolate ice cream checkbox was checked. Right now it's not checked. But let's say I knew that I want to send Fred the email about my chocolate ice cream. Well, I can click on this checkbox. This is going to take Fred and put him in a group automatically. And because that group is designed to send out that email about the chocolate ice cream, within approximately an hour, Fred's going to get that email. So if you've ever worked with Act Marketing Automation, there are some steps to it. I always tell people it's not 100% intuitive. In fact, it's like learning new software. But try to imagine the cart before the horse. Let's say that I never created a group to send that ice cream email out to. What I did is I said, listen, if the chocolate ice cream checkbox is checked, put them in a specific group, and then send the email. And what that allows me to do is find people that I might feel are relevant and want to get the chocolate ice cream email. So I can create checkboxes, I click it off, and they're going to get the email within an hour. If you're in a company that has a lot of employees and you're trying to help them get emails out, but you know it's a lot of work, sending an email can be as simple as a checkbox. Normally, we think about finding that group of people, sending them an email, and sort of forgetting about it. Here, you could have no one in that group. You could click a checkbox. Fred goes into that group, and now he's going to get the email. So, it's a different way to think about using some of the tools built into ACT. And that's what I love about the creativity in some of the ways you can think about it. How could you use this in your business? Try to imagine for a moment that you have, widgets, purple, green, yellow, and red widgets. Well, you could have a checkbox for each. And if I felt Fred needed to get the purple widgets email, I could check off that box. And typically within about an hour, Fred's going to get that email. If you have employees, they don't have to get creative. They don't have to do anything. They've got to click on a checkbox, and now they're going to get that email. So this becomes a story of what do you want ACT to be for you? How do you want ACT to work? And that's what I love about the ACT marketing automation and the way you can think about it and get creative with it. So again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I think this is a great tool, and it's really worth really examining and putting some time into it, because I think the value of what it can do for you is huge. Okay, my friends, you have a great day. Thank you so very much. Bye now.